Hello, this is Thomas from Medieval Review, and I'm here with a couple of fellows from Badger Blades. This is Impus and Wolf. Hello, guys. Good to meet you. Shake your hands real quick. And you guys are obviously sword manufacturers, something I really love to look at. I was wondering if you might showcase a few of your designs and talk a bit about it.
Well, what do we got here? We got leaf blade, Celtic manhandle style guard, hilt. It's a leaf blade.
What would you say is your main focus in terms of design when you're creating these things, you're making these swords? What is kind of the design aesthetic, the thought process that goes behind them?
I couldn't tell you that. My business partner Badger actually makes the blades.
Okay, well, he was just here, but he just left.
No, that was Hyena.
Oh, Hyena, sorry, okay.
I can tell you a little bit about it.
Okay.
The interesting thing about sword design is it's partly aesthetics and it's largely function. Most people don't realize how much physics actually goes into the design of a sword. For example, one of the ones behind you I'll grab. This is a design that Badger came up with that is essentially a decapitation tool, right? In order to accomplish this job, in order to be able to take the head off a full-grown man by swinging from the wrist, there's a great deal of physics involved. So the blade is thinner down here, wider down here, to put more mass at the end, so that when you swing, you generate a great deal of kinetic energy. Well, you put a curved cutting surface on this blade, because a curved cutting surface is a more efficient cutting surface. It cuts through much more easily. So instead of a flat blade that disperses the energy, a curved surface will cut through very, very simply. Now the reason why you put the holes in the end is you need a lot of energy at the end to generate kinetic energy, but if you have too much, you'll lose the weapon out of your hand. So you have to weigh it all out and drill it out and weigh it until it's the proper amount. This is where physics takes in a role. After that, then you can dress it up and make it look pretty once it actually does its job. Another one, for example. Distal tapered bastard sword, right? Essentially, the design aesthetic is it's a bastard sword, but where the physics and the design in this blade comes in is obviously it's tapered widthwise down to the point. Less obviously it's tapered thickness-wise down to the point. So what you end up with is a lighter, faster, more neutrally balanced blade than a straight-bladed sword, but has the same amount of cutting power into the weapon, right? So there's a great deal of things that go into the design of a weapon. Sometimes you start with a sketch as far as you go, well, I want to make something that kind of look like this. Then you make it work. For example, these pieces right here I just showed you a second ago might look familiar. They're inspired by the movie The Book of Eli, but if you actually take a good look at them, you'll notice the proportions are not the same. You can take an artistic piece and it may not actually function. From that point, you actually have to do the work to turn it into a functional, usable weapon, which is where these came from. So sometimes it starts with an idea for a look. Sometimes it starts with an idea of a function. You want something to do a specific job, and then form follows function. It ends up taking a different form completely.
Awesome. Yeah, Book of Eli, good movie. I like that movie. And so you guys have it's very a modern design to it. I mean, you're obviously making medieval weapons. You're making Celtic, Dark Age weapons, as it were. But you're taking a very modern approach to it, and you're not overdoing it either, which I think is a really great thing. Very common thought process is make it as visually striking as possible. And that usually means doing all sorts of crazy things to it. And you end up with some sort of fantasy weapon. To your point, you're designing these more for the function first, and then you go back and you tweak those aesthetics. And I think that shows certainly with a lot of these in terms of the design, because you see that the blade looks really very nice, very straightforward, very standard. And it's just the things that go around it, such as drilling holes in it, or giving a back edge, or what you do in the hilt wrapping that changes up the design. So I think that's really interesting. Do you guys have any new things that you're showcasing today, or is it mostly what your current stock?
The boarding cookery?
Yes,
okay.
Actually, as a matter of fact. The one new design we have, so we're always coming up with new stuff. Our Master Smith Badger is always, kind of tweaking around, but we only have one of the new ones today. And that is the little D-guarded kukri down there that we call...
I'm gonna go grab it real quick.
Please.
All right, so D-guard kukri.
Yes, this is called, so the genesis of this was, obviously we make regular kukris and we make cutlasses. We don't have the shorter, we actually make a boarding cutlass too, but we don't have it with us. It's a shorter version, it's about this big. And Badger was sitting around one day and had a thought of, what if the Nepalese Gurkhas became pirates? What would they carry? So he crossed the two, and we call this the boarding kukri. This started out as a joke, and has now become wildly popular. So we sell quite a few of them. I started off with 8 of them. This is the one I have left. So
And so there is the thing, right? You're combining two distinct, unique cultures, as it were, and you're creating a functional weapon, but you're creating something that is truly unique. Again, not so many people focus on just being a recreation of like a historical blade, and they never take the chance to actually do something new. So that kind of goes back into that modern approach, where you guys aren't necessarily. It's kind of weird to say you're making blades for the modern day, not necessarily for the Dark Ages, right? And so then you end up with a very interesting, very new design. And you're right, I do actually kind of like this. It's a very beautiful combination. Again, very simple, but nobody else does it. So awesome.
It's kind of fun, you know? It's unusual and a fun design that you're not really going to see anywhere else.
Absolutely. All right, awesome. Well, guys, thank you. I actually was really looking forward to finding your booth while I was here. As I've definitely looked at your stuff online before, and I wanted to have a chance to just kind of look around and hold them. So I appreciate you taking the time to talk to me. And thank you again, Impus and Wolf. These guys have awesome names. All right. Thank you all, and until next time, stay sharp.